Hello and welcome to my channel. This video will be highlighting some of the main threats that occurred between March 2024 and April 2025 in the Sebastian Rogers case. March 2024. The United Cajun Navy receives death threats. Credit to WKRN News and Vinnie Politan with Court TV.
Security concerns, the United Cajun Navy is temporarily calling off their search for Sebastian Rogers. Good evening and welcome to News 2 Now at 10. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Bogus. The nonprofit organization joined the search for the teen missing out of Hendersonville last weekend. But as News 2's Sarah Smith reports, the group says the search has now become too dangerous.
The volunteer group United Cajun Navy reportedly getting death threats for their efforts in finding Sebastian Rogers. Sumner County Commissioner Don Schmidt shares his concerns.
I did receive a phone call from Skip Butler a couple of days ago, and he had reached out to me, and as soon as he told me that, that he was getting death threats and they were, fearing for their safety, I said, you need to call law enforcement right away.
It's unclear who the threats are coming from.
I mean, the obvious conclusion, again, if you're trying to stop people from searching for a missing teenager, you're afraid, maybe they may find him. So was there a particular place where you were searching at the time all this started to happen? And if so, is that a place that you were unable to search?
Our searches were hampered, is the probably polite way to put it. We didn't get to do nearly as much as we wanted to, but it really didn't matter where we were. It seemed that this trouble followed us.
Joining us from the Gulf Shore of Alabama, Press and Communications Officer for the United Cajun Navy, Kevin LaFond, is with us. And the reason we asked you to be on is you guys were involved at some point in the search here. Give us a little bit of the backstory, Kevin, on how the United Cajun Navy in Alabama ends up in Tennessee searching for Sebastian.
Well, it all started with Riley Strain. I appreciate having me on today. Riley Strain's search, as you know, ended it the way it did with us discovering where he was as a group, all of the searchers together. We don't claim any fame to that, but we were part of it. There's an outcry on social media and to us directly from the parents to get involved with the search here. And that's what we did with the search for Sebastian. We got ourselves organized, and we were together. We had everything there anyway. So we said, you know what, we're here, so let's do this.
So you said the parents, is that both the father and the mother and the stepfather, like all three contacted you?
It was primarily Seth. Seth asked us to come.
Okay, so the biological father. Okay. Now, I also understand that you had to call off your search efforts because of some threats. Can you tell us some of the details there? What's the nature of these threats? Is this people who don't want you on their property because it's private property? Is this people who don't want you to find something? What exactly is that all about?
Well, there was a private property and also state and federal land issue at the beginning that we had to get permission for to be on those lands. But we did get permission. We got the okay to do that, so that was never an issue. We had some bad actors that were showing up in person and also harassing online and through phone calls. We were getting all kinds of messages saying that we're going to be doxxed, we're going to be run out of town, we're going to be bullied, and then the death threats came. And that's when we got real serious about having to reformat how we're going about this and think about the safety of the volunteers. It really was to that point. So now we have to shift gears and move into more of a private phase where we're not forward facing.
Let me ask you this. The people who are threatening you, stopping a search for a missing child, did you provide that information to law enforcement? Because I would think if someone's trying to stop you from finding this child, maybe that's someone law enforcement should be looking at.
And I would say that you're drawing a reasonable conclusion there for sure. And yes, the authorities were notified. We have incident reports with the MNPD. They were the ones that came out to the original call when our folks were basically barricaded inside of a hotel room.
Wow. Barricaded inside of a hotel room because you're in town searching for a missing teenager?
Yeah, and that's very strange. It's never happened to us before, and certainly with what you're reporting earlier about there being so much cooperation, this being so difficult really didn't add up.
June 2024. Chris Proudfoot threatens a neighbor and her son's girlfriend. Credit to JLR Investigates.
Never meant to upset anybody. Turn around, Stafford. I'm coming back down, and Chris is now, mind you, I have never met this man, never seen him before. I wouldn't even know who he is. Matter of fact, I thought he was law enforcement. Stands in the middle of the street and puts his hand out and stops, just like this. So right on the window, and he comes around and he stands there just like this. And, what are you doing out here? And I'm like, holy crap. I said, I'm so sorry. So I was like, I'm so sorry. I kept apologizing to him, and he got really upset and, kind of said some things, and I was just trying to calm him down and I apologize. And my son's girlfriend was in the back, and she thought that if she rolled the window down and said, I am such and such, and I go to your son's school, that he would calm down. He stops mid-sentence to me and said, oh, and got, stopped, looked at her and said, your name? And she said, yes, sir. Like, how do you know? She only gave him her first name, and he said the whole thing. And she was like, how do you know my name? But he told her that, so you're the girl that runs this Facebook group and this, that, and the other. I'm going to demand you take that off. You get your phone. And he said, where are your parents? And she said, at my house. And he said, well, I'm going to find out where you live, and I'm going to come knock on their door, and we're going to have a conversation. And she said, okay, good luck with that. And I was like, you know what? Look, we don't want to, cause any issues and whatever.
June 2024. In a leaked phone call, Chris Proudfoot accuses Seth Rogers' private investigator, Chloe, of leaking family secrets and threatens her. He also threatens Seth.
So I don't know what's out there.
I'm telling you, I'm being very polite as I can possibly be to her.
Mm-hmm.
If she don't find a fucking way to fix it, I promise her I am not going to be so goddamn pleasant when I see her.
Okay.
And I will bring the fucking cops with me.
All right. Well, I'll talk to her. I mean, are you
takes that? I don't care how she takes it. I really don't give a goddamn what I have to fucking do. But I can promise you, there's a difference in helping find Sebastian and just being a stupid fucking cunt. Bitch don't fucking mean a goddamn thing to me.
Right.
If she was on fire, I wouldn't piss on her to put her out. I promise you, if Bobby told Seth anything of what he's told us, Seth opens his fucking mouth. I promise you, it won't ever open again.
June 2024. While Bullhorn Betty is in Hendersonville hanging flyers, Terry Bowersox follows her and takes pictures of her license plate, which I consider to be a threat. Credit to Bullhorn Betty.
Coming up, taking my tag plate. Let's turn around on his tag plate. Terry Bowersox. Terry Bowersox, right there. Came up and decided to take my plate on
September 2024. CJ and Trey are searching around Beach High School and someone cuts the serpentine belt on CJ's car. Credit to Evel CJ.
Yeah, my serpentine belt magically disappeared. And then I showed you guys on the stream too, because I was like, I ain't fucking playing. Like, I took the camera. I showed you. Look, the belt's gone.
I took a picture just in case. I was like, I'm taking a picture.
The belt is gone. And as I'm driving here, all of a sudden it's like, geez, something's up with the car. Something don't seem right. And then we get here, and all of a sudden my lights are going ting, 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 ting. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what the hell? And then we just literally pull over and park in a parking spot. That's when pop the hood. Your belt's gone, bro.
What? I said, pop your hood, we'll check out your power steering pump. I was thinking it might need, your fluid may need taken out, and we could just put some new fluid in it. I think it'd probably be good for checking for shavings. And we popped it, and I went to look for the power steering reservoir, and I look, and I'm like, what the heck? I like, the belt's gone.
September 2024. Dog the Bounty Hunter joins the search for Sebastian Rogers, along with his team from At Night Media.
Many people helped me nick the hat, my team, and then I have one of the greatest lawyers in the world for this particular subject. I mean, this guy is like, it's just incredible. So anywhere you go, you must have a good lawyer in this business. So please, let's pass this on to him.
Well, as a more than 3-decade law enforcement official myself in Pennsylvania, the former district attorney and former attorney general, I know what the local authorities must be feeling and the frustration they must be feeling. And I know from my own experience that sometimes you need to rely on people like dog experts that are willing to give their time and energy to come and assist law enforcement in doing their job. And, I'm stunned when I learned about the facts of this case that, the young boy has left the home of his mother and his stepfather, and they don't seem to be particularly broken up about that. I'm sure that is sticking in the minds of a lot of people and want to know what the answer to that is. I also was struck by the fact that the people doing the search, Dog, Nick the Hat, and some of the other people are facing death threats. And
why was the stepfather threatening people that were out looking for the boy? Volunteers were out there and he was threatening them.
Dog is also offering a $100,000 reward to anyone with information.
This is not the first rodeo for me finding a missing child.
But Dog and Seth say they have faced online threats that go beyond opinions.
It's really bad. I mean, they have threatened, Seth's family.
October 2024. Hong from At Night Media begins receiving threats.
And it's been 7 months, and everybody's trying to help is getting death threats. As you can see on the news, I'm not going to go based on the tiki-taki people and like the YouTube people or whatever. Like, I based on the news, okay?
Sometime in September 2024, this man is seen on security footage creeping around Hong's house. The same man seems to be sitting behind Chris Proudfoot at Bullhorn Betty's court hearing in October 2024. January 2025, someone who goes by Cromaland on X brazenly tweeted a death threat towards Hong, stating, "I will shoot you in the face worse than your own government, Hong." At Night addressed the tweet, stating, "The incident is part of a disturbing trend marking the 10th direct death threat received by At Night's partners, affiliates, associates, and volunteers across 4 states. We at Night Private Intelligence remain steadfast. This threat, like the others, is being treated with the utmost seriousness and is currently under investigation by multiple law enforcement agencies." December 2024. Nick the Hat is threatened by Chris Proudfoot's private investigator, Steve Fisher. Credit to Nick the Hat.
But I want to talk about Stephen Fisher, SF Investigates, the guy that is representing parties in this and other matters across the entire country he inserts himself into, right? The guy is blackmailing and extorting us and me. I'm putting that out there. And I call on you, Steve, to sue me for that so you can prove what yourself. It's not going to work. Stephen Fisher is blackmailing and extorting us. He's partnering with former staffers. And it's kind of wild. His tactic involves silencing people, it involves sabotaging, and then stabbing. That's kind of how he does it. He stabs the information with misinformation.
April 2025. A Sumner County, Tennessee judge is threatened and therefore recuses himself. Credit to Bullhorn Betty.
So he stopped the proceedings and basically said he was willing to recuse himself and explained to them that apparently this judge, which I have no doubt who's the responsible parties, but how dare, like, people are really freaking brazen, and whoever did that, I just want to let you know that he talked about it being under criminal investigation. You cannot threaten a freaking judge. Whatever idiot did that is a stupid bonehead. Like, you could go into jail for a really, really long time. You do not threaten judges just like you do not threaten law enforcement or FBI.
April 2025. Chris Proudfoot continues to deny the flashlight video is of any evidentiary value, and he threatens the mob crew who has worked relentlessly to prove it most likely shows Sebastian's abduction. Chris, however, believes a video recently discovered by his unscrupulous PI could be important, and he wants to concentrate on it instead, while many believe the new video is nothing. Credit to Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis.
All right, let's pick up where we left off with them telling the interviewer about a video that recently surfaced which might show Sebastian sneaking away the evening he supposedly went missing.
You were determined to get to the bottom of this, to get to the bottom of that video.
I've seen the video. I know what's in it. It actually gives us more rejuvenated hope that we may actually be onto something. We just have to run it down. We've got to figure this out. And with law enforcement doing what they can, and with the help of like TBI, the FBI, all of that. I mean, I believe Secret Service was involved in the beginning. Maybe they can look at this video as well.
It sounds like Chris wants all the help he can get analyzing that video, but his actions say otherwise. As I said in the intro, the Proudfoots say they want help, but when someone actually helps them, it's a different story. The best known example of this, of course, is Dog the Bounty Hunter, who volunteered his services, but has only been met with resistance from the Proudfoots. But when it comes to the video, there actually is someone on YouTube who's been breaking down all the videos related to this case in great detail, and that is YouTuber Mob Crew. And just like Dog the Bounty Hunter and everyone else who's been working for free to try to figure out what happened to Sebastian, Chris isn't very grateful. In fact, here's the thanks Mob Crew got from Chris on a live stream not long ago.
You know what? I even went in and told Mob Crew that when he was sitting there talking all that, there was a whole bunch of shit he was saying. I can't remember what all he said, but I went in there and said, well, if you really want to know that bad, why don't you go in there? Why don't you go ask him? He's got no problem speaking to you.
Well, I got Mob Crew a better one. You want to look at your videos very carefully, and you want to get them done correctly? Get off your damn computer and bring your ass down here and come find me, and I'll walk with you on every part of this road and walk with you on every part of your video. I got no problem with it. But when you sit behind a damn keyboard and you do the shit that you're doing, you play with fire, you're liable to get burned. You might want to reconsider some of the things he's doing right now, because he potentially may have a bigger issue down the road.
Some thanks, huh? And the way that the Proudfoots ask for help but then refuse it when they actually get it is part of a bigger sign of a hoax.
April 2025. Chris Proudfoot threatens Brittany J., a content creator who supports Seth Rogers and the Green Team, also referred to as the team who wants to bring Sebastian home. Brittany is also the subject of bullying by what we refer to as the hate channels. Credit to Crime Time Buzz.
So you heard you talking about Brittany J, right?
Yeah.
That bitch couldn't get fucked if she ran through a field of dicks backwards with her ass cheeks spread wide the fuck open. So you can play that shit for that bitch to hear. Don't worry, you really want to fucking know. She ain't had her fucking feelings crushed, but I'll do my minimum to fucking destroy her fucking feelings. Because quite honestly, that bitch needs to close her fucking mouth before she stuff a whole goddamn turkey in it and choke on the fucking chick leg
on the way down. And hell, by doing it, she might actually do something good for her kids and her husband. So fuck that bitch. I'm sick and tired of listening to this fucking bitch run her mouth about me, my wife, my family, and anybody else out there. When that bitch she ain't fucking a angel. She ain't a goddamn first person. Fuck her. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it.
you.